Greetings, viewers. Yep, it's me, Eric the Car Guy. I'm wearing the hat. Those two things mean that we're doing an ETCG1 video. Here in ETCG1, we talk about stuff. We don't do repair videos. Apologize for that. But I will put a link in the description to my Eric the Car Guy channel where you can go and watch all the Eric the Car Guy videos you like, should you so desire. If you wish to stick around and join the conversation, I welcome you to do so. Get away, fly. How are you? I gotta tell you, the past couple of video shoots that I've done here at the shop, it's late August 2014, haven't gone well, and they've eaten up a lot of time. So, you know, just after I sit down and I figure out how many videos I need to cover for the rest of the year to get me through January of 2015 and start making plans and putting things together and getting shoot schedules, all that kind of stuff, which is kind of part of what I do. I go to shoot said videos and problem after problem after problem after problem. Now, these aren't technical problems, mind you, like say with the cameras or the microphones or equipment like that. That seems to be working fine, thank you. Other than the other morning I get up early to get some work done and there's no internet. Time Warner went down. And then this morning I did the same thing to try to get caught up a little bit more, and my email was out, which my developer Wyatt Talley was kind enough to help me with that. Once again, setbacks both days. Well, also setbacks with the past two video shoots. I was shooting a power steering rebuild video for my Honda Odyssey. It was starting to make some noise, and you know, wanting to show you the innards of a power steering pump, I figured I'd do a rebuild. Normally, I'd just replace it. I would just throw one on there. You can find them on eBay these days for about 40 bucks. And actually, that's what I'm gonna end up doing. Why? Because I must have had that power steering pump off of there 10 times. And I'm not exaggerating, you know, like some people do when they say something, well, I've done that 10 times. No, I really had that thing on and off there 10 times, trying different things, trying to make it work. And you'll get to that when you get the chance to see the video, and hopefully it will come to the conclusion after I install a new power steering pump and all the noise goes away. We can all walk away happy. And then most recently, have been trying to, for some time, mind you, do an AC retrofit video for you, from going from the R12 refrigerant in a pre-96 vehicle to the 134A refrigerant that's used now. And yes, I know that they're switching to something else coming soon, to a vehicle near you. But here we are. And I still don't have an AC system that works, and I still have a power steering pump that's noisy, and I have 2 days worth of work with me and cameraman Brian trying to get these things done. You know, woe is me. We should all have such problems because, you know, just working as a technician, you know, stuff like this would happen. Actually, I felt a lot less stressful then because I could just say, I'm leaving. And, you know, it was pretty much my employer's problem that I couldn't finish the job. But here, I don't have that luxury of passing the buck. So I have to accept responsibility and come to you on an ETCG1 video and cry and whine about, you know, the BS that I've gone through. But I think you can relate. And that's kind of why I thought about doing this video sort of last minute, is that I know if you fixed anything or tried to fix anything, or you've been fixing things for any amount of time, there's gonna be stuff that's just gonna kick your ass. And I feel like mine has been kicked quite a bit lately. And you know, it's how it goes. And you know what? I didn't show it on camera, but I did throw a wrench. Because seriously, these past two jobs, that power steering pump job and the AC retrofit job, have been problem after problem after problem after problem. The AC retrofit job, when I first started doing it a month ago, there was a problem with the expansion valve, and then I got a new expansion valve. Well, the expansion valve I got was off eBay because that's the only place I could find one for this car. And then I got it and it wasn't the right size. It was just like the other expansion valve that I have that didn't fit. I bought another Acura expansion valve that I ended up not being able to send back because it was a special order part. So I was like, I'm like 40 bucks into expansion valves. Actually more than that. I think the other one was 35 and the second one was like 15. So more than that, it's like I'm 50 bucks into expansion valves trying to make this thing work. Well, it turns out when I got the old expansion valve off, I took it apart, moved some stuff around, and it started working again. So I got that part of it fixed. But I got to do the refill, and there was too much oil, too much refrigerant, all that stuff. Not to mention the issues that I had with the high side fitting. That first, when I went and got the high side fitting, I actually got a low side fitting instead of a high side fitting. On this Acura Vigor, I have to get a 90-degree high side fitting because it's on the receiver dryer, and there's a little block that sticks up, and you can't put the fitting for the 134 on there with that block in the way. All this stuff. Well, you may not see that part of the video because I actually shot it in a way to where I could cut that part of it out. But I got all the way to that point of replacing the receiver dryer, and that didn't work. So then I tried to make the receiver dryer work just so I could have some AC. Like I said, this was a month ago. I wanted to be able to have AC in the car while I was driving. You know, I went through all the trouble. So I figured, I could run it without a high side fitting, or I tried to make the high side fitting work, and in the process ruined the brand new receiver dryer, so I had to get a new receiver dryer. Like I said, it's just been ding, 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 everything I touch. And I did get the correct high side fitting today to put on there, and I was able to put it on, and as I was tightening it down, the top just came right off. So that the part where there's a bend and there's a part underneath where you screw it down onto the fitting, and when I was screwing it down onto the fitting, the top part just came right off. It came apart, so brand new fitting. More junk that I got to try to use. So I had to JB weld everything to try and seal it all up. Was successful in doing so, but I actually thought, well, maybe I'll weld this first. So I busted out my welder and got the spool valve out that's got the aluminum in it. It's that longevity welder that I did a review on a while ago. And I hooked up the aluminum spool valve, and then I went over, and I didn't want to weld on my part to start with because I've never welded aluminum. I wanted to do a little practice first. So I grabbed an old evaporator that I had laying around that I could do some welding on. And I couldn't get the weld to work for nothing. And it turns out you got to really, 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 really clean aluminum in order for it to weld properly. Not to mention that aluminum is so stinking thin, you know, with AC parts that you'll just blow right through it. So I was trying to dial in the voltage and dial in the wire speed, and I couldn't quite get it right. And then JB Weld came to mind, and I said, screw this, and put the welder away, went out and got some JB Weld, put the JB Weld on, went to lunch, hoping when I came back it would have been cured. Wasn't cured. You know, and I know I'm not the only one that's run into this. Like I said, anybody that's done any kind of repair, it doesn't even have to be auto repair. You work on your house, work on computers, something. You'll get to a point, you think you got this, and then bam, you hit that just roadblock. And then you got to pick up pieces, you got to deal with it. And I know I've done videos about this kind of stuff before, but now you, as the ETCG1 viewer, because you're awesome, get a little bit of backstory behind some of the videos that you'll see coming out. So when you're watching these things, you'll know the trouble that I had, and you know, you won't necessarily, well, at least maybe you will, maybe you won't be screaming at the screen going, ah, you should have done that, or you did that wrong. You did it wrong, Eric, why are you letting me down? Well, I try to do it right. And that's the thing, that the bar is always moving. I'm not here to complain so much as to tell a story. Something that I hope is relatable, something that I hope you enjoy, and you know, waste 8 minutes of your time. Anyway, I am Eric the Car Guy. If you have automotive questions, I would ask that you go to EricTheCarGuy.com. No, really, go to EricTheCarGuy.com. Welcome video. Tells you about all that stuff that can help you. If you wish to connect with me socially, I can be found on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter. Post ETCG1 videos on Monday, so stop back and see me then. Close each of my videos with be safe, have fun, stay dirty. Next time, we'll see you. Bye-bye.